It is Thursday, the 13th day of June 2024. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch and Hope TV, the station where you look and live. It is a day when the Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njenga Ndongo has read out the government's budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025 in the National Assembly. We will be taking a look at some of the highlights. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. The Ministry of Education has reaped big with the allocation of 656 billion shillings in the financial year 2024-2025 budget compared to 628.6 billion it was given in the previous year. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njenga Ndongo, while reading the budget statement in Parliament, gave the health sector 127 billion shillings, which is 20 billion shillings less than last year. Dolly Murigi now reports.
The National Treasury has proposed an allocation of 656 billion shillings to the education sector, up from 628.6 billion last year. Speaking while presenting the 2024-2025 budget estimate in the National Assembly, Ndongo said the Treasury will set aside 358.2 billion shillings for the Teacher Service Commission and 142.3 billion shillings for the basic education sector.
Mr. Speaker, the allocation of the education sector includes Kenya shillings 9.1 billion free primary education, 61.9 billion shillings for free day secondary education, Kenya shillings 30.7 billion for junior secondary school capitation, and Kenya shillings 5 billion for the examinations fee waiver. In addition, Mr. Speaker, I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 13.4 billion for the conversion of 46,000 junior secondary school interns to permanent and pensionable terms. Kenya shillings 1.3 billion for the training of teachers on competency-based curriculum, and Kenya shillings 360 million for the digital literacy program and ICT integration in our secondary schools.
According to the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee for Budget and Appropriation, Dini Nyoro, 26.6 billion from the amount allocated for the education will be used by the Teacher Service Commission to absorb the 20,000 interns teachers into permanent and pensionable terms, and more than 30 billion to be used to employ 20,000 additional teachers.
Honorable Speaker, these are monies that will be going into infrastructure like roads, like water, and other facilities, Honorable Speaker, like in the education sector, because we want these areas that have been marginalized for too long, Honorable Speaker, for them also to catch up so that Kenya develops together.
The health sector has, however, felt the pinch. This is after being allocated 127 billion, which is 20 billion less allocated in the previous financial year. 4.1 billion has been allocated to the primary healthcare under the universal healthcare. Other funds in the remodel UHC are secondary healthcare fund and critical and emergency fund.
I have proposed an allocation of Kenya shillings 1.1 billion to strengthen cancer management in Kenyatta National Hospital and Kisii Level 5 hospitals. I have also proposed Kenya shillings 2 billion to the Emergencies, Chronic and Critical Illness Fund. Mr. Speaker, to improve health delivery services, health service delivery, I have proposed a sum of Kenya shillings 29.7 billion for Kenyatta National Hospital and Moi Teaching and Referral Hospitals. This includes 2.6 billion for the construction of Kenyatta National Hospital Burns and Pediatric Center. I've also proposed Kenya shillings 5.2 billion for the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, Kenya shillings 2.5 billion for the Kenya Medical Research Institute.
Dolly Murigi for Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly Mwirigi. Now, a section of Kenyans have warned members of parliament who will support and pass the 3.91 trillion shillings 2024-2025 budget estimates that come 2027, they will not be re-elected. Kenyans in the transport sector have also registered their dissatisfaction with the huge debts affecting the country and high taxations that Kenyans are facing, saying the government never listened or acted on the matters raised during the budget hearings. Elias Wanjiro with that report.
A section of residents from Nairobi County have expressed their dissatisfaction with 2024-25 budget and sent stern warning to their members of parliament in relation to passing the budget for the financial year 2024-25 read by Finance Minister Njenga. According to residents, most of whom are from transport sector, it is the responsibility of members of parliament to defend Kenyans by voting not oppressive bills, adding that recently MPs have been pressured by government leaders to vote for bills that oppress Kenyans, saying they have no doubt that many MPs will agree to 3.1 trillion budget.
Mambo ya budget hiyo lazima iangushwe, isipitishwe kwa bunge. Sababu kama itapeleka kwa bunge na ipitishwe, bunge haitakuwa na umuhimu. Na sisi huku nje ndio tunaumia. Sisi hakuna msemaji mwenye atatutetea. Hakuna. Hata afadhali nyinyi mko hapa mnaweza ongea sauti yetu isikike huko mbele. Sababu tukiongelea huku chini haisikiki. Hiyo kitu lazima iangushwe, isipitishwe. Na watu kujitakia ni kitu mbaya, sababu hao wanajitakia, wanajitosheleza, si huku chini tunaumia. Angalia venye tuko shamba la mawe. Hapa mimi nabebea hapa, angalia venye watu hata hakuna, kazi hakuna, chakula hata kukupata, pesa yenye ulikuwa unapata hakuna. Sajia kipitishwa. Sio kwa wametumaliza, wamekuwa wametuangamiza. So kitu lazima kipitishwe bunge wakuwe sauti yetu. Hiyo budget wajue venye wanaishughulikia kutetea maslahi ya mwananchi wa kawaida mwenye yako huko chini.
25 kwa lita, hakika hapo tutaumia zaidi. Maana hasa sisi watu wengi wa bodaboda tumechukua maloni. Na hii loan kila siku unafaa ulipe shilingi 550. Inabidi ile pesa yenye unapata yote unalipa ulipe loan, na hata nyumba ya 3500 hauwezi ukalipa. Sasa kama wataongeza hii budget hasa iangalie upande wa uchumi. Wakati president tulimchagua alisema kwamba yeye atakuwa mama mboga na bodaboda na hawa watu wa biashara ndogo ndogo ndio utasikia vizuri, lakini sisi ndio tumekuwa affected zaidi. Maana hata kukula kwa uwezi kula sapa na ukule breakfast, lunch na sapa. Hata wengi wetu mabibi zetu wametoroka. Kwa ajili hatuna kitu ya kuwalisha. Sasa lazima wanaenda, wengi wametuacha kwa maboma, wameenda kutafuta umaid.
On the other hand, they have said in this new financial year 2024-25, the government should be responsible for existing debts. This is happening at a time when by March this year, the nation had a debt of 10.3 trillion shillings. This is according to the Finance Minister Njenga.
Hata kama kitu ya kwanza haina kitu ninasema pesa yenye nasanywa, kitu ya kwanza iajibikiwe. Hiyo ndio kitu. Pesa imesanywa iajibikiwe kwamba pesa tumesanya ni hii na hii na hii. Kama haitajibikiwa, hii pesa hata mnasanya ya nini kama haijibikiwi? So lazima pesa iajibikiwe, imetumika hivi na hivi na hivi. Hiyo ndio mimi nasema kwa upande. Kama ni kulipa madeni, hiyo madeni tujue ni madeni gani inalipwa. Tutakuwa tunaendelea tu hivi, madeni inalipwa, hatujui pesa ngapi imeenda kwa madeni, deni imebaki kiasi gani. Hata ukilipa deni, uambiwe ulikuwa na 100, umelipa imebaki 50, unakuwa na nguvu.
Tumeumizwa kama Wakenya. Na sijui ni kwa nini wabunge wetu wakati wanakuja kutuomba kura, wanakuja kama wamenyenyekea, wanatudanganya na mambo matamu. Wakishafika kwa bunge wanaanza kujipigania mambo yao peke yao. So sisi kama Wakenya, na haswa sana mimi kama mlemavu na walemavu wenzangu, sisi ni Wakenya kama Wakenya wengine. Ni vile tu hatujiwezi kwa sababu ya ulemavu. Pengine mtu kama mimi ni mlemavu mguu, inaweza kuwa na shida, changamoto ya kutembea, baiskeli na magari, hatujiwezi vizuri. Na wabunge wetu, nyinyi tuliwachagua, mkishaenda bungeni, nyinyi kazi yenu ni kupigania mshahara yenu.
Even after the financiers noting that they involve Kenyans in preparing the budget, the Kenyans we interviewed have opposed that, claiming this year's budget is too high and claiming it will cause investors from foreign countries to run away from investing in Kenya. The government has proposed a total budget of 3.1 trillion, while the central government is allocated 2.3 trillion shillings. County governments allocated 400 billion, while the parliament is allocated 44.59 billion shillings.
Hata investors wataanza kukimbia sababu mimi nimetoka kwa kibarua industrial area saizi. Na ni uchungu sana kama mlemavu nimeenda kutafuta kibarua, kuna kazi zingine walemavu hawezi fanya. So wakati kama huu ndio wakati mnafaa mtuhurumie kuhusu hii budget. Mtuwekee vitu sana vyakula ikuwe bei mzuri, zile mahitaji ambayo mwananchi wa kawaida kama mimi at least tujisikie kwamba tuko na nchi yetu ambayo tunajivunia.
Those are some of the views from the boda riders here in Bunyala Road, Nairobi County. They have said that the budget has not focused on their need. Instead, no one has looked unto them. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch from Bunyala Road in Nairobi County, my name is Nelias Wanji.
Much appreciated, Nelius Wanjiru. Now, mixed reactions continue to be expressed over the 2024-2025 budget projections that were read out by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u in the National Assembly today. President William Ruto's government, through his ministry, has proposed different ways to meet its revenue targets to fund a budget of 3.92 trillion shillings, including introducing new taxes in the controversial Finance Bill 2024. This year's budget is the largest in the nation's history and the second since President William Ruto took office. Our reporter Alice Diana had a sit-down with a financial analyst concerning the budget. Let's take a look.
Well, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u has today tabled a 4 trillion budget in Parliament. So this moment I'm joined by a financial analyst just to get to know more about this budget. Well, Sir Henry Mahugu, welcome. And maybe let's begin. Do you think the budget estimates that have been presented today in Parliament for the financial year 2024-2025, are they Mwananchi friendly?
Yes and no.
Why?
Yes, because I have a lot of faith in our economists. They are very good. When they come up with such kind of numbers, a lot of work takes place throughout the year. By the time they consolidate those numbers to be read as a budget, a lot of work has gone into it. Fact finding and establishing the realities on the ground. Also doing a lot of consultations with experts in the various sectors so that now it is consolidated to become a national budget. So I have faith in that. Now, in terms of the outlook of Mwananchi towards that budget, much of that budget is going to be raised through tax. And what happens is that nobody wants to pay tax. Tax is painful. So this budget has many, many more introductions to tax because the government now is reaching more to the informal sectors and trying to kind of expand the base of tax collection. And therefore, anybody who will be found for the very first time definitely will have a negative reaction saying the government is really punishing them through taxation because we have been focusing more on the formal and private sector. Those are the ones that have actually been paying most of the taxes directly to KRA. So we are expanding the reach now so that it is fair to the employees. So, for example, Alice Diana could be paying tax for another 10 people up country, but they're earning more money through the informal activities than you do. So if everybody can contribute a share of it, fair. But taxes are always viewed in a negative way, but you cannot live without it. For example, when you need a road to be tarmacked towards your village, it cannot be done through tax collection. Health services, tax collection. Military and security, tax collection. So in return, what do you get once you pay tax? Now, where Wananchi sometimes get problems with is you don't experience the return on that investment of the tax that you paid. You go without services, you go without government support, you go without education support, you go without many support. That's why people normally complain. But if they do, I know countries like Belgium where taxes go up to 60%, but the government comes back to support the Wananchi in almost everything. So that's where we are.
So we've seen different sectors being allocated different budgets. There are those sectors that have gotten a bigger amount, yes. Others have gotten a lesser amount. So do you think when it comes to the allocation of the budget, government has it gotten right its priorities in the allocation of the budget?
I could say again yes, and I'm not sure whether it's no, because they will rank all these needs that the country has into some kind of a priority list, because you don't have enough money to do everything at the same time. So they have to prioritize what is more urgent to Kenyans, and then they rank them in the order in which they should go. Then I know that this current government is looking at the whole country. It's not like the old governments that we had, which had parochial interest. You look at who voted for you most, and then they give more allocations there. Then But if it is infrastructure, it's kind of widespread. Since the time of former President late Kibaki, we have seen things like roads are being done now. They're not politically oriented. If it is infrastructure for power, it is not necessarily politically inclined, and so on. So they look at where the need is most and where it is urgent. Like now, we have just come out of the flood zone, and they have known the country has been affected, the infrastructure is destroyed in many, many areas. So those kind of issues will be given priority and they'll get more allocations.
Okay, so let's look at the finance bill, the 2024 finance bill that has heavily been criticized by various groups because its target is to introduce some taxes, which is still a burden to Kenyans who are already burdened by the current economic times. So do you think that because the bill is about to be tabled in Parliament and for it to be voted, do you think the members of Parliament should scrutinize it well before having a vote on it?
Let me say that members of Parliament also contributed to the building of that budget, but the consolidation of all those will be done by the Treasury and other government departments, and then it is returned back to Parliament for approval, discussion, and amendments. So they cannot say that it is totally bad, and they have the opportunity to make corrections. So if they can join hands and remove whatever they think Mwananchi will be adversely affected unfairly, they have the opportunity. Because if they all agree, both the opposition and government side, they all agree that this is not good for Mwananchi, it will be removed. If it needs to be to exist and continue to be, but it is very expensive. Let's say they're going to increase by 5% instead of 3%. They can put it 2% because we still need the money. So they have the chance to tidy up that document so that it is Mwananchi friendly. They have the opportunity. And they're the other ones who have got the mandate under the Constitution.
Okay, from where you sit as a financial analyst,
yes.
On one hand, the government needs to raise revenue.
Yes.
To run the country. On the other hand, Mwananchi is feeling burdened because of the high taxes and many taxes. So how do we balance it so that the government can still raise revenue and Mwananchi will not feel burdened with taxes so that the country can still move forward?
When you pay for something from a shop, somebody can sell it to you at 6,000, another 5,000. But you might choose to buy the one that is going for 6,000. You know that you have been taxed 1,000 shillings extra because you know the value of the item and maybe the quality of the item. What the government needs to do, I challenge the government spokesman to speak more of what the government does for Mwananchi, because there could be that feeling that we pay money and there's corruption in government and our money is being misallocated and misused. So people feel bad about it. But if you know, for example, I get the new health insurance fund scheme. If I pay 300 shillings, then I get my outpatient costs already done. I don't have to pay any more money. Then I'll be more than happy to pay that 300 shillings. It's a new tax for those guys that like they have proposed. Anybody who's 25 years, whether you have an income or not, you start paying that 300 bob. If I knew I pay that 300 bob, but I didn't have an income, I can borrow it so that in case I fall sick, I'll be treated. Once I have that knowledge, I don't fight the government. But now we don't normally hear the good side of the story. We just hear the bad side of the story, and that is the tax part. So I think the government should now come more to educate Mwananchi what it is doing with their money. And the proof, beyond the reasonable doubt. Like you hear an aircraft has been hired for 200 million shillings, and then somebody comes and says, no, I was given by a friend. No, it was 10 million shillings. Now, we need to know the truth. Because if 200 million shillings, they try to imagine how much could I have done with 200 million shillings. I start feeling bad because if I had paid tax, it definitely brings that negative connotation. But if I know the value of that investment and the return on it, I'll be okay.
And lastly, what can you advise a Kenyan who is watching right now? Maybe they are feeling already life is already hard, things are already expensive, and with the introduction of more taxes, they feel it's even going to be worse. How can you advise them? How can they still live within their means with more expenses still coming on their way?
That's a very good question because I'm in that category. I think also learning how to do budgets, because what we have found difficult in managing money as a financial analyst, even when I discuss with many people, is changing our value system. Changing our value system, because we want to do it as it was in the beginning, so it is now and forever it shall be. So if I must eat ugali every day and the cost of ugali has got to 200 shillings and I earn 500 shillings a day and I have to pay rent and do this, so must I eat that ugali every day? So we have now to kind of transform our thinking and mindset. If this is the thing I have been spending money on, do I have alternatives? Probably have even better alternatives. Am I ready to change and transform the way I do my own affairs with money? Yes. So we must transform our mindset so that we don't necessarily have to eat ugali every day. Let me just use that example. Maybe rice has not gone up by the same amount. Maybe potatoes, or sweet potatoes have not gone, maybe arrowroots have not gone up by that much. And if I just wanted to eat carbohydrates, I can get, there are very many alternatives in Kenya whose price has not gone up. And therefore it has not been affected by inflation. So we must also have that kind of a clear mindset, the flexibility of how we look at life also that matters for the ordinary mwananchi.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights on this topic of budget. I'm sure it's a topic that will still have a discussion in a couple of days to come. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Well, that has been Sir Henry Mahugu, who is a financial analyst. Thank you for watching. My name is Alice Diana.
Thank you, Alice Diana, for that interview on the budget. And on that note, let's take a short break on Newswatch tonight. Plenty more coming up, including President Ruto back on the mountain. See you shortly.
The East Africa Women of Excellence Awards Gala Dinner is here. This award celebrates the brilliance, resilience, and outstanding achievements of remarkable trailblazing women who have shattered glass ceilings in their various spheres of influence and fields. Join us for the awards ceremony happening on Friday, the 14th of June 2024 from 6 p.m. at Safari Park Hotel, Nairobi. Our chief guest is Honorable Aisha Jumwa, Cabinet Secretary at the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. To attend, get a corporate table at 60,000 Kenya shillings and for individual at 8,000 Kenya shillings. Make your payments via paybill number 933-933, account name WOE. For partnership and sponsorship, call Eunice on 0719-863-336 or email customerexperience@hopefm.org. This event will be live on Hope TV, the East African Women of Excellence Awards, recognizing East African women of impact.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 8830028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Welcome back. President William Ruto has embarked on a 3-day visit to the Mount Kenya region amid speculations of a rift between him and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, who hails from the region. Speaking in Mitungu, Meru County, President Ruto promised to continue supporting the agricultural sector in the country to boost their income and also enhance their yields to ensure food security. As part of this commitment, the government has allocated an additional 2 billion shillings to the dairy sector in a bid to also improve farmers' access to credit. Grace Ahati reports.
Amid escalating concerns regarding the perceived strained relationship between President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, the head of state has embarked on a 3-day visit to the Mount Kenya region, the DP's backyard. The president visited Mitungu, Meru County, where he laid a foundation stone for the Meru Maziwa millers and affirmed that his administration has allocated an additional 2 billion shillings to the dairy sector. This is in a bid to boost farmers' income, improve their access to credit, and enhance food security in the country.
Tuanze kuhakikisha kwamba pesa inafika kwa mkulima. Pesa isipotee hapa katikati. KCC tumesema kuanzia mwezi ujao, mwezi wa 7, mkulima lazima apate 50 shillings per liter. Tumekubaliana ya kwamba vile wakulima walipwe kwa muda. Mambo ya kungojea miezi 2, miezi 3, hiyo tumekataa. Pesa ya mkulima ilipwe vile mshahara inalipwa.
Simultaneously, the government has waived the historical debts owed by coffee farmers nationwide amounting to 6.8 billion shillings in a bid to enhance the production of coffee in the country. Earlier, there were complaints from Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga that the president has turned his back on Mount Kenya counties in terms of development issues.
Hii pesa ni deni ya wakulima waliolemewa, ndio serikali tunalipa. Jambo la pili, tumeambia cooperatives wote wa kahawa, mambo ya kulipa mbolea shilingi 6,000 kwa wakulima wa kahawa itakoma. Tumeweka bei ya mbolea ni shilingi 2,500, na hiyo ndio serikali imesubsidize. So wale wakulima wote wa chai, wa kahawa, wa miwa, wa mahindi, bei ya mbolea ni shilingi 2,500.
Addressing the prevalent issue of unemployment in the country, President Ruto emphasized that initiatives like the affordable housing project are part of a comprehensive roadmap designed to combat this challenge effectively.
And I want to assure the young people in the Republic of Kenya, we have close to 500,000 young people in various TVETs across the Republic of Kenya. We have more in our universities. And I want to assure them that the government of Kenya has a plan for them, and it is deliberate, and it is intentional, so that we can give them opportunities to work around Kenya and to monetize their skills and their talents and contribute to the development of our country.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Much appreciated, Grace Ahati. The Council of Governors Chairperson Anne Waiguru has commended the significant strides made in the representation of women in leadership roles in the country. Speaking exclusively to Hope FM, the Kirinyaga governor noted that the country has come a long way since, for the first time, there are 7 female governors and 3 elected female senators. Moreover, Waiguru has revealed that through the Female Governors Caucus G7, they aim to empower and support women leaders in demonstrating efficient, transformational and strategic governance within devolved structures. However, despite these achievements, Waiguru has acknowledged that women leaders continue to face various challenges, with cyberbullying being one of the most pressing encounters.
We have a great responsibility to those who are coming after us to set that example. If women are going to be elected in Kenya, it is going to be based a lot on how we perform. So one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that women are excelling, and that is one of the strategies of G7, to deliver the promise of devolution, that when people talk about devolution, they will think about the G7. Before, they couldn't reach you, but now because of the phone and the digital world we are in. They are right in your living room. They are with you when you wake up.
Yes.
And it can be quite discouraging, and maybe one of the things that makes women not think to get into politics. And also the price that you pay. It's got a huge price. It's got a huge price. A lot of time that you have to dedicate, not just during the campaign period, but also in service to community.
Now, following a shooting incident involving a magistrate which occurred at the Makadara Law Court in Nairobi earlier today, Chief Justice Martha Koome has pledged to review security around courts. Preliminary reports indicate that the shooter, 55-year-old Samson Kipchirchir Kipruto, was a senior police officer and OCS in Londiani, married to a suspect, 48-year-old Jennifer Wairimu, whose bond in a case of allegedly obtaining 2.9 million shillings by false pretense was cancelled. The judiciary further confirmed that the police officer who shot the magistrate was shot dead by other police officers in the court immediately after firing at the magistrate. In a statement, the judiciary stated that it will enhance the security protocols for all civilians visiting courts across the country and assured all judicial officers of their safety while going about their activities. On the other hand, the Law Society of Kenya says the court is now an active crime scene being processed by the police. "400 youth from 20 wards in Elgeyo Marakwet have graduated with technical skills from 13 vocational training centers in the county, courtesy of the MasterCard Foundation's Young Africa Works program, working with KCB Foundation's Tujiajiri program. 258 of the youth also received business startup toolkits to enable them kickstart their entrepreneurship journey by creating their own employment within the sectors they have been trained on. This is in line with KCB Foundation's efforts to catalyze economic growth by tackling youth unemployment at grassroots levels by supporting the creation of small and medium enterprises through youth vocational skills training.
As a business, we also believe that we have a collective responsibility to address the youth unemployment challenge that we continue to experience as a country, as a county, as a community, and even where we live. There's a lot of unemployment that we have. So that's our little contribution as KCB group. And our major source of financing comes from the business, as the previous people have talked about. The business that we get, KCB Group gives back to the community through KCB Foundation by investing as a percentage back to the community.
When I started this program, people thought ni kitu hivi hivi tu. When we went for the second program, juzi, watu wananyang'anyania. And I know the third one, watu watauana na panga. Wanataka kuingia. It is because of you who accepted. Ile Kiingereza ilikuwa inaongelewa hapa, ilikuwa Kiingereza ya watu fools. Ile vitu walikuwa wanasema hapa ilikuwa fools. And I will ask you one question. Ukienda nyumbani jioni, unaenda kulala kwa wapi? Unaenda kulala kwa wapi? Kwa nyumba, si ndio? Hiyo nyumba imejengwa na mtu ya University of Nairobi. Ukifungua mlango ni mtu ya University of Nairobi aliweka. Ukienda kwa kitanda, hiyo kitanda unalalia ilifanywa na mtu ya KU. Ni mtu ya UOE. Unajifunika na kitu imeshonwa na mtu ya KU. Ama ni mtu ya Maseno. Ukiamka uende kwa sink, ukienda kunawa mkono, ilifungwa na mtu ya KU. Ilifungwa na mtu wa UOE. Ni nani alifanya?
To get Ebenezer by Jane Allaire as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300023 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Una Go TV Stream? It's free. Go TV Stream iko mkononi na ni free. Download Go TV Stream app for free. Enjoy live TV na shows kamia nane. Download and watch later anytime. Anywhere. Go TV Stream iko mkononi na ni free. Available to active subscribers. Go TV. Love it.
The East Africa Women of Excellence Awards Gala Dinner is here. This award celebrates the brilliance, resilience, and outstanding achievements of remarkable trailblazing women who have shattered glass ceilings in their various spheres of influence and fields. Join us for the awards ceremony happening on Friday, the 14th of June 2024 from 6 p.m. at Safari Park Hotel, Nairobi. Our chief guest is Honorable Aisha Jumwa, Cabinet Secretary at the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. To attend, get a corporate table at 60,000 Kenya shillings and for individual at 8,000 Kenya shillings. Make your payments via paybill number 933933, account name WOE. For partnership and sponsorship, call Eunice on 0719-863-336 or email customerexperience@hopefm.org. This event will be live on Hope TV. The East African Women of Excellence Awards, recognizing East African women of impact.
You, the listener, are the reason why we go on air. You, the friend of hope, are the reason why hope is alive. You have helped us take hope across the country and to the rest of the world. Through your giving, we have been on air for 18 years and witnessed many people coming to the Lord. Through your giving, we have expanded our reach to 3 new regions, namely Kisii, Nyeri, and Meru. Through your giving, we have expanded our reach to an international audience through DSTV and GoTV platforms. Thank you for your sacrifice and generosity toward this great initiative. As we continue spreading hope to the other unreached regions in Kenya, you are invited to be part of the Friends of Hope through a contribution of any amount via M-Pesa Paybill 933933, account name FOH. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive. God bless you.
Welcome back in business. Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi says that the government has put in place measures to increase milk production from the current 5 billion litres to 11 billion per year by 2027. He said there is a two-pronged approach that will see farmers provided with sexed semen for hard growth and credit to produce enough nutritious feeds for dairy animals. Linturi was speaking to tea farmers at Rukuriri Tea Factory in Embu, where he said it was the government's intention to help the farmers diversify so as to improve their incomes and shield themselves from tea market shocks.
My responsibility as minister, representative of government in the whole electoral process is to ensure that the ground is fair for everyone. Ndio tukakubaliana hii kura lazima uwe tofauti kwa kura zile zingine zote zimepigwa katika taifa letu la Kenya na hasa kwa wakulima wa majani chai. Tukasema IMBC wakuje. Tukasema IMBC hata mkikubaliana hiyo maneno, picha ya mtu iwekwe, sababu kuna mwingine hataweza kusoma jina, lakini akiona picha ya Linturi anajua huyu ni Linturi. Kwa hivyo hawezi kuuliza swali, weka picha yake, ili tusiweze kuachia watu walaghai nafasi ya kusema mambo ya kufanywa pia alikuwa. So what I want to assure you people, the members, wakulima wa hapa Rukuriri, ukiona National Government Administration wote wako hapa wakiongozwa na County Commissioner, tumesema kazi yao ya kupeana usalama na wamecommit wataendelea, wewe ili uweze kuhakikisha uhuru wako wa kuchagua umeweza kutekeleza. So the responsibility, and I want to insist, ni yako. What we are supposed to do as government, tuko tayari, tutaendelea, lakini wewe piga kura yako. Wabunge wenu, gavana na wale wengine pia wameniambia niwaambie, they are not aligned vile tumekubaliana. Nikwambia ondokeni kwa hiyo maneno. Yule mutachagua wewe mwenyewe, wameniambia au ndio watu watafanya kazi na wao.
Absa Bank Kenya has announced the Absa Inspire Me conference set to take place in Nairobi from June 18th to the 21st of this year. The event, recognized as the largest gathering of women entrepreneurs in Africa, will focus on empowering women-led small and medium-sized businesses. The conference will provide essential resources such as an important information, market connections, networking opportunities, and mentorship aimed at fostering growth and resilience among women entrepreneurs. Mombi Waweru reports.
Invited Ghana,
Absa Bank Kenya and the International Trade Center ITC She Trades Kenya Hub is set to host the biggest meeting of women entrepreneurs in the continent, targeting over 10,000 women entrepreneurs across Africa.
And many more in the two-day conference.
The Absa Inspire Me conference is an initiative under Absa Bank's Women in Business proposition, launched in 2021, organized annually to facilitate market linkages, business-to-business networking, and business mentorship for women entrepreneurs.
The conference is organized annually to facilitate market linkages, business-to-business networking, business mentorship, specifically for women, but supported by the community. The Absa Inspire Me conference is organized annually because it's a conversation around women to ensure we can track what women businesses are doing annually. This initiative is a testament to our commitment to empowering 1 million women, and we said this when we launched our proposition in 2021. Within 5 years, we should be able to do this. So this is aligned to that proposition. What are the highlights for this particular conference this year? This year, we're thrilled to announce that the conference will be held, of course, in Kenya, in Nairobi, targeting 10,000 women in business participants. We might think we've invited Ghana, Mauritius, the UK will be in the room, South Africa will be in the room, but guess what? There'll probably be more. Yeah? The question is, are you brave to connect? Yeah, when we said it's an African conference, there are people who are going to connect virtually from different countries across Africa.
Absa Bank's Business Banking Director, Elizabeth Wasuna, says the theme of this year's conference is Empowering Your Story for Growth, which is in line with Absa's new brand promise launched earlier this year, Your Story Matters, which shifts the bank's purpose to a more deliberately customer-centric business.
You know, there's no event that
women entrepreneurs from various countries, including Kenya, Ghana, Zambia, Mauritius, Uganda, and other She Trade Hub nations, will be participating.
ITC launched the She Trades initiative to remove barriers to women's participation in trade by working with private sector partners such as Absa, by working with government, by working with business support organizations, and eventually the women-led businesses themselves. Okay, we build their capacities to create a fairer and more sustainable global economy. She Trades Hubs, let me talk a bit more about that. It's a really global phenomenon that we launched in a She Trades initiative in 2016, and eventually in 2021 launched the hubs and found that it's a more sustainable way of working with women in different nations across the globe. And so we have created content, we have created networks, and above all else, for us, it's very key that above being inspired, which is fantastic, that's why we're here for the Absa Inspire Me conference, above being inspired, we want to see trade deals happening one woman at a time.
The conference will feature one-on-one business meetings with potential UK
potential buyers and discussions on export opportunities. The ABSA Inspire Me Conference 2024 aims to engage and support women entrepreneurs, offering a platform for growth and development.
Have to tell, and we're glad this morning.
Mombi Waweru, Hope TV, Newswatch.
Have to tell.
And now in sports, Diamond League world record holder Beatrice Chebet will lead the women's 10,000 meters team to the 2024 Paris Olympics as Daniel Matego leads the men's team. Athletics Kenya President Jackson Tuwei has named the team that will represent Kenya in the 10,000 meter race in the Olympics that will be held in Paris from the 26th of July through to the 11th of August 2024.
And away we go, 25 laps of the track.
Following the Olympic trials that are held in Oregon, USA, coinciding with the Diamond League, the best Kenyan athletes were chosen to represent Kenya in the 10,000 meter race at the 2024 Olympic that will be held in Paris from 26th of July through to the 11th of August 2024. Beatrice Chebet, who broke the world record at the 2023 Diamond League, has been chosen to lead the women's 10,000 meters team. Other female athletes include Margaret Kipemboi and Lilian Kasait. For the men's team, Daniel Matiego will lead the team of three that consists of Nicholas Kipkorir and Bernard Kibet.
It is the country that is being ranked. And therefore, we all need to pull together, we all need to support each other, we all need to support this team that is going there, and we all need to see that they have everything that is required. And I have a lot of confidence. The way we have worked with National Olympic Committee of Kenya from the time we selected the marathon team, and the way they have supported, they have supported this other one, and they have also supported this, and they have also supported the trials that is starting tomorrow. So we are not on our own, we are all together.
The National Olympic Committee expressed optimism in Team Kenya, stating that they are hopeful of registering a record high in terms of gold achieved at an Olympic that stand at 6 gold medals, which were achieved at the 2018 Beijing Olympics. Having already announced the official marathon team, the committee will announce the rest of the teams heading for Paris 2024 Olympics on Saturday, 15th June 2024, ahead of preparations.
I can tell you that what Genoa just said, these Olympics are going to be totally different Olympics, because we have also other disciplines that for the first time are featuring in these Olympics. It's going to be very interesting Olympics, and of course our athletes have been prepared very well by the National Olympic Committees of Kenya. During the preparatory process, pathway to qualifications, we've been doing our best as the National Olympic Committee of Kenya to ensure that all teams participate in their qualifying events.
Paris was awarded the Games at the 131st IOC session in Lima, Peru on 13 September 2017. This is after multiple withdrawals that left only Paris and Los Angeles in contention. The International Olympic Committee IOC approved a process to concurrently award 2024 and 2028 Summer Olympics to the two remaining candidate cities. For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Ian Githuku.
Kenya Premier League side KCB FC will be back in action this weekend as the Bernard Mwalala-led team tackles 7th placed Posta Rangers FC at the Police Sacco Stadium. The Bankers have been impressive in the FKF Cup, cruising 4-2 past Kariobangi Sharks on penalties to set up a final date against Police FC later this month. With 3 matches left to play in the 2023-2024 Kenya Premier League season, KCB will be keen to bag maximum points against Posta, AFC, Leopards and City Stars to finish at a respectable position in the log.
Nasema mood iko top notch. Everyone is ready for Posta's match. Enda kwa game poa na tunabelieve tunaenda tuko na moral boost ya ile semifinal tulishinda. Tuko na hiyo moral boost, tuko na moral boost ya friendly tumecheza in the midweek tumepata wins. So tunabelieve game ya Posta pia tunaenda kuimaji victorious. kupanda kwa table, at least tumalize position poa. Hizo game 3 zimebaki, tunataka kila game tupate 3 points. So ni important kwetu sana cause tuna target top 6 na believe tutafika hapo hivyo.
The mood in the camp is good. The players are geared up. They are well motivated towards to our next match. Having that we won our last match, hopefully the break will not affect us. We'll have a good run. So if we continue the run that we had, I think it's going to be good. It's very important. It's a very important match. One, because it's the 3 last games of the league. So we want to also have a good performance in the league before we go for the cup fight. The team is well. No major injuries, and we are good to go.
And the NCBA Golf Series is set to tee off at the prestigious Karen Country Club this Saturday. Marking the 7th leg of the series, the event has attracted a field of over 200 golfers, all vying for coveted slots in the grand finale scheduled to take place later this year. The Par 72 Karen course is renowned for its beautifully maintained course, which offers both a test of skill and a scenic experience for golfers. The top performers of the tournament will secure their slots at the Series 2024 Grand Finale, and they will include the Division 1 male and female winners, Division 2 male and female winners, and overall winner of Division 3, and the top performer in the junior category. Well, that's all we had for you on Newswatch tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Have a good night.